Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to the First Alert forecast. Here, I'm live right now at the First Alert desk, here to give you a check of the forecast, and I want to dive right into it. We're going to go ahead and give people a few moments to come back into this chat, but for the moment, I do want to just touch on what's happening currently outside before we do get into the most important part of this conversation, we'll call it, and that's the forecast, the look ahead to the rest of the weekend and what could be a period of rain and heavy rain Monday evening into Tuesday morning. So let's start with what's happening right now as folks just begin to join the chat. And we are live on many platforms right now: Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, AtlantaNewsFirst.com, and the News app and in the Weather app. And if you're watching on any one of those, that's awesome. What's really cool as well is that we are also live on Facebook and on YouTube. Both of those accounts are Atlanta News First. Give it a like, give it a follow. And I'm here to answer your weather questions, address any comments, concerns as it relates to the forecast. And we have some cold air filtering back into North Georgia. You notice the 20s and 30s. This isn't unseasonably cold, but cooler than it has been. And that colder air moved through the boundary that separates the warmer from the cooler anyway earlier today, and that was accompanied by some rain. You had that earlier this morning to the early afternoon hours. Probably noticed some of that wet weather moving through. And sure enough, it moves through. And now we're going to trend a little chillier, but we are not going to shed the cloud cover. This is not one of those fronts that moves through and then we clear out quickly behind it. Unfortunately, kind of a messy weather scenario where we have the clouds, we have continued moisture, maybe a spotty shower tomorrow, in addition to that chillier air that is filtering back into North Georgia and Metro Atlanta. Again, some folks coming in on Facebook, the Atlanta News First page. Lonnie Hopkins, hello to you, watching from Conyers. Probably noticing the clouds there, maybe a chillier feel this evening. And Lamar Brown is watching on YouTube. Hello there, Lamar. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Again, we'll get you back to the forecast, starting with what's happening outside right now. And notice, as I switch graphics here, the chillier air is starting to filter in, but as we look at temperatures a little bit closer to home, they still aren't all that chilly. We managed the mid-60s today in Atlanta, still in the lower 60s now at 62. 59 though, Carrollton, 57, Blairsville, 58, Athens, 60 in Covington. So watching there from Conyers, probably about 59, 60, 63 Locust Grove, LaGrange as well. Mountains in the mid to upper 50s. So light jackets. And it will trend pretty quickly cooler through the evening hours as some of the chilly air filters in, but in general, not really cold by December standards. And back to a live look at radar right now. Not too much moisture out there. Maybe a few sprinkles, patches of drizzle. Can't rule those out. In fact, you see a little bit of that here on the west and the southwest sides. Again, some sprinkles possible for the evening plans, but not much going on. Notice near Douglasville in the Douglas County, pushing through the city of South Fulton, southern Fulton County, near Palmetto. Both of these little clusters of sprinkles moving quickly through and to the south and east. So it'll probably only sprinkle at any one spot, about 5-10 minutes, and then it's done. Zooming out, the steadier drizzle, the light rain showers now down into middle Georgia and really portions of the coastal empire of Georgia and South Georgia, Southwest Georgia, Albany, Columbus, up into the Savannah area as well. Timothy McGlynn is watching on YouTube. Hello to you, Timothy. Thanks for watching. Lamar and Tim, let me know where you're watching from. If you're watching from North Georgia, appreciate the viewership, or, no matter where you're watching from. Thanks for tuning in, for checking out the First Alert forecast. All right, here is a look at the forecast, speaking of which, into the evening hours. Lots of clouds, could be a little bit of a spritz, a little bit of a sprinkle, some patchy drizzle. Notice the raindrops there on the weather graphic. But that changes there through about 8, 9 p.m., and then we're going to bring it back down to about 0, though, yes, there could be a sprinkle or two overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning, but most will miss the rain. Not too concerned about any planned impacts. If you do get a little bit of moisture, we're talking literally sprinkles for the evening plans. Nina Duck is watching from Forsyth, Georgia. Hello to you, Nina, saying, and we'll show Nina and Lonnie Hopkins. Nina saying we received rain for about 30 minutes for about 12:45 today, and it's 54 now. Thank you for the report. I know a little outside of Metro Atlanta, a little cooler, should say, down there in the mid-50s. And you may have, Nina, a little bit more of the sprinkle action, very light stuff, not the kind that really ruins any plans or anything like that, but a little bit more in the way of that moving southward and into your area far south metro here over the next several minutes, maybe the next hour, hour and a half or so. Again, here is that hour-by-hour forecast, whether you're watching from Atlanta or if you're watching from Conyers or Forsyth, like some folks are watching from. We do have that chance of some sprinkles in the evening forecast, but this is not anything that is going to mess with your plans. Out the door tomorrow morning, it's going to be colder than this morning, but not all that cold. We'll call it kind of chilly, and we're going to be dry tomorrow morning. Notice those deeper blues on the maps there, and that kind of signals, colder weather. Generally, on temperature maps, the deeper the blues and the purples, the colder it will be, and we're talking mid to upper 30s. And far north and northwest Georgia, Dalton, Rome, Blairsville, and Canton. In Atlanta, though, going 44, 49 Griffin, 49 LaGrange, 46 Covington, 44 Athens, 41 in Carrollton. Notice where clouds are thickest and where we are a little more removed from that chilly air. Temperature's just a bit milder. I think we're going to stay in the low to mid 40s inside the perimeter tomorrow morning, and then closer to 50s. You get down to Macon, Warner Robins. Timothy saying my relatives used to live in Atlanta, Georgia, and moved to Pennsylvania. All right, Tim, if you're watching from up that way, you have some real cold on the way, maybe some snow in western PA, northwestern PA as we get into really at this point later next week. Again, just a potential for us. Nothing like that in the forecast. In fact, we're going to warm up North Georgia, Metro Atlanta as we get into to next week. So again, lots of clouds out the door tomorrow morning. Coldest on the far north side up into the mountains of North Georgia, 30s with a breeze. So winter jackets, not a bad idea, but I think more 40s versus 30s from Atlanta, the I-20 corridor on south. Jumping ahead to tomorrow afternoon, it's going to be a chillier day than today. I think we struggle to hit 60 in Atlanta. We were about 64 or 65 today. Tomorrow, I think 59, 60 Gainesville, Athens 61, Rome 59, 63 in Noonan. Again, just depends on exactly where you are. In general, coolest from Metro Atlanta on north and west, with some of the chilliest temperatures up in LJ, Helen, Ivy Log on into Dalton, Georgia, our northern tier of counties on into northwest Georgia. And Timothy on the Atlanta News First YouTube page saying, Georgia's beautiful. I was there with my brother. Well, glad you enjoyed it. Hope you had a great trip. Jackson Altador, hello to you. Thanks for watching. Waving back at you. If we've never met before, I'm First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin. You can just call me Cutter, of course, and we're streaming live on Facebook, Atlanta News First, and on YouTube, Atlanta News First. If you have any weather questions, comments, concerns. I know some folks have plans Sunday. We're kind of in the middle of that Sunday forecast now, but if you're just tuning in, no worries. We can always backtrack if we need to, and I am here to monitor the comments as they come in, both on YouTube and on Facebook, and address any weather questions, comments, concerns. Here is that Sunday afternoon forecast. A little cooler than today, upper 50s, lower 60s. We will struggle to see sunshine tomorrow. I think most miss the sun, but there could be a peak or two out there tomorrow. Cooler than today. Most staying in the upper 50s, lower 60s versus low to mid 60s today. And some new folks commenting in on Facebook. Lizzie Fortner watching from Brookhaven. You're very welcome, Nina. Dan is watching from Griffin, South Side. Have some friends down in Griffin. Hey, Dan, hello to you. Oh, Nina saying 64, not 54. Sorry. That makes a little more sense. I was going to say that's pretty impressive for Scythe to already be down in the low to mid 50s. But low to mid 60s makes a little more sense. You're just a little bit warmer than Atlanta, though I will say some folks on the southeast and the southwest sides, you do tend to cool quicker than here in Atlanta. Less pavement, you're outside the perimeter, so I wouldn't be too surprised if you do cool just a little quicker than the city does this evening, though you're battling the clouds still out there this evening, Nina, and that's going to slow your temperature trend overnight tonight, but eventually some of that chilly air that is filtering in that we were talking about, it'll win out, and I think you'll notice out the door tomorrow morning just a little bit cooler than it was this morning, especially Atlanta and points north. Also, Susie Gray's watching from McDonough. Sarah Jenkins, hello to you, Sarah. Thanks for watching. And there is Nina watching from First Sight. Again, thank you all on YouTube and on Facebook. And if at any point you have a weather question, it may take me a moment to kind of navigate back to those social media feeds, but I'm here to answer those questions as they come in. So while I may miss a couple, no worries. I can always respond back. Afterward, I'll go back through these feeds, and also you can reach out to me at any time. Cutter Martin on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, CUTTERMARTIN. Robert Edwards, heard a rumor about cats and dogs. Your take. If we're talking about Tuesday morning, it's going to be raining cats and dogs, rather, for a portion of North Georgia Tuesday morning. So Robert Edwards, not just a rumor, it is fact, certified correct. We are tracking that risk of some heavy rain Tuesday morning in particular, though that wave of rain actually begins Monday, second half of the day, but heaviest probably Tuesday morning. Unfortunately, kind of coinciding with that Tuesday morning commute. In fact, let's jump ahead to that part of the forecast. We've established we have a lot of clouds, Robert, tomorrow, but the cats and dogs, they will hold off until our Tuesday. And let's lay out the setup here. In fact, I'm going to bring you back up to a forecast model, and we'll start tomorrow and run it all the way up to that next rain event. So again, this is actually now a few sprinkles, lots of clouds, upper 50s, lower 60s. There's that chillier air coming in. Notice how temperatures really begin to drop early tomorrow morning as that chillier air kind of winds out. Back in the mid to upper 40s, Atlanta and points north, 50 in Griffin, 50 in Weedawee, Alabama, LaGrange, 51. This is early tomorrow morning, though. Even a little cooler for a short time, about 6, 7, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. By 9 a.m., upper 40s, lower 50s. The rule, though, colder up in far north Georgia and the mountains. And then we do try to make 60 tomorrow, and we may, but I think it's going to be a little bit of a struggle with all the clouds in the forecast, just kind of blocking out the sun. And there could be an isolated shower, a little bit of a spritz in the forecast tomorrow. Nothing that's worth canceling plans over, even bringing the umbrella out for. But especially if you're watching from Cleburne and Randolph counties in East Alabama, west of Carrollton and on into Weedawee. And those areas, you could get a shower tomorrow. I think that rain chance even lower than there in Atlanta and points east. So Athens, virtually dry. But then we're going to, the further west you go, kind of up that rain chance. It's only about 20%, but it is there for tomorrow. And then Sunday night, those clouds really begin to thicken up. And notice early Monday morning, there could even be a few showers. Temperatures mid to upper 40s, right around 50 out the door Monday morning, so a little warmer. And there's that first little bit of moisture moving in. And it'll build in through our Monday morning, beginning west, and here we are, 8, 9, 10 Monday morning. This is not much rain. This is really just sprinkles at this point, but there is more rain on the way. Then that forecast model kind of stops its data Monday afternoon into early evening, and that's what radar may look like, with a pretty good slug of moisture across North Georgia, though it is light. But I do think that rain will increase as we get into Monday night, more so Tuesday morning. All part of a bigger rainmaker. This is a look at forecast rainfall through midweek. That includes, the majority of this, as far as North Georgia is concerned, falls Monday night and Tuesday morning. And notice how we're talking, as you look at that table up top, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches of rain. Arkansas to North Mississippi, North Alabama, Florence over to Coleman, and then on up into Tennessee. A super soaker for them, but back for North Georgia, we're talking an average of 1 to 2 inches of rain, with a few spots greater than 3 inches, and we could, in a few handful of our far North Georgia, our mountain towns, could see more than 4 inches of rain. Again, most of this falling Monday evening through Tuesday evening. The heaviest, I think, will be Tuesday, maybe morning to mid-afternoon. But notice how sharp that drop-off is. South of Atlanta may not get all that much rain. This continues to look like a far North Georgia kind of soaker of a rain event. Also looks like the heaviest rainfall totals will fall north of the city of Atlanta, and it's going to be a sharp cutoff between those that don't get all that much rain and those that are absolutely soaked. Again, if you're just now tuning into this this forecast, which Carlston Hatcher, looks like you're just joining in on Facebook. Again, here's a look at the comment feed, Atlanta News First on Facebook. Ronald Goldson also commenting in on YouTube. Thanks for watching, man. And Cornelia, Georgia, again, a similar setup to the rest of North Georgia. This is for that Monday and to Tuesday, next rain event. Some of that rain will be pretty heavy, including for Cornelia. In fact, if you're watching from that particular spot up in Habersham County, you'll probably end up with some of the heavier rainfall totals. Your heaviest rain there, Carlston Hatcher, will fall Tuesday morning. Now I'll go ahead and pull up that full 7-day forecast so you can get an idea what the rest of the work week looks like. And here we are. First alert, second half of our Monday. In fact, here, let me fix this really quick. I'm going to hide this. There is the correct. No first alert on Wednesday. Just saw the edit live on our feed here. Chillier day, just a 20% chance of a shower Sunday. But then we're watching our Monday, second half of the day, into Tuesday. PM rain Monday, but could start as early as late morning, but a focus in the afternoon and evening for the rain chance Monday, and then a focus for the rain Tuesday, though technically, yes, into the early afternoon hours. We could still be dealing with some rain, but wettest second half of Monday, first half of Tuesday, and about that 12 to 18 hour period. And with the clouds, some rain around. It'll be chilly Monday, high staying in the 50s in Atlanta. That risk of heavy rain, the rumor of cats and dogs, as Robert Edwards was talking about on YouTube, that'll be present Tuesday morning in particular. And then we're drying out. In fact, I bumped up those midweek temperatures Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We're in the 70s, close to records, both morning records, meaning that 60 degrees Thursday, Friday morning is close to, if not breaking, record warm morning low temperatures, something we'll be watching here, and not too far from records as well in the afternoon with temperatures back in the mid-70s in spots. 20% chance of rain Friday. I still think a mostly dry day. There comes our next front, moves through with just a little bit of moisture, and then on into Saturday, finally something more seasonable. Back in the forecast, highs upper 50s, lower 60s next Saturday, and it does look like the chillier air may stick around through the entirety of next weekend. So if you have holiday Christmas-like looking plans, any holiday family or friend gatherings going on, a little more festive weather-wise as we get into next weekend, and we may get the cooler temperatures this time without the rain. Ryan Laird is asking about Henry County. No changes in Henry County. Really the same story there, Ryan Laird, as regarding that Monday into Tuesday. As you see tomorrow, a lot of clouds. I think tomorrow you're mostly dry. Temperatures down in Henry County, maybe 62, 63 tomorrow afternoon, whereas Atlanta points north and west in the 50s. And then Monday, your rain may begin as early as, mid to late morning, but an emphasis on the second half of our Monday, hence the first alert PM rain. Though, yeah, a little moisture possibly before lunchtime Monday. And then I think that in Henry County, the heaviest rain may stay to your north, Ryan, but this is a forecast. It's a little bit in flux, pinning down exactly where this band, kind of a fire hose of rain, so to speak, sits. It's a little bit difficult to do with 100% confidence at this point. So, Ryan, keep an eye on that forecast, but I think the heaviest rain Tuesday morning falls north of you in Henry County. And then we all dry out. Tuesday afternoon, evening, night. It'll be a little bit of a gradual process there, but Wednesday, Thursday, warmer and drier looking in the first alert forecast. Again, I want to thank you for tuning in. We have a 9 o'clock newscast, a 10 o'clock newscast, and 11 o'clock half-hour newscast, and I will ask you to join. Again, new data coming in by then. We'll have your full forecast anywhere you're streaming this. Weather chat from the First Alert Desk. You can also watch our newscast this evening. Atlanta News First app, atlantanewsfirst.com, Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, YouTube TV, all of those platforms. I'll go ahead and leave you with a look of that at that 7-day forecast. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. Feel free to give me a like, a follow on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Again, you can always get the latest weather information, not just myself, but anyone on the First Alert Weather team. Ella Dorsey, Rodney Harris, Courtney Jacobazzi, Fred Campani, Jennifer Valdez, all here to keep you updated across all of our social media platforms. Hope to see you a little later on TV. If I don't, though, that forecast always on the go, atlantanewsfirst.com and in the Atlanta News First Alert Weather app. Have a great evening.